YouTube family, how you doing? Today is Tuesday, October 15th, 2024. It's your man Big D, and I'm back with another one. Before I speak on this next topic, I would like to thank all of you that continue to rock out with my son and I. The support that you give his channel, Illuminated D, it is very much appreciated, and we thank you. Well, family, I was looking at a video that my son made. It's titled "The First Army ACFT 600 on the Fitness Test." So I just wanted to speak on that a little bit. My son is in great physical condition. He is a physical fitness specimen. And I would like to think that I contributed to that because it's all in the DNA and the genes. Whoever said that DNA and genes won't take you far in life, they lied to you. And, you know, when I was going hard and what have you, really hitting the gym hard as, you know, like he is now, you know, I always had that drive and motivation. And that's what I want to speak to y'all about a little bit. See, the thing about the PT test, when I was in, every 6 months we had to do a PT test. So back then, our PT test consisted of push-ups, sit-ups, and a 2-mile run. So since I've been out of the military, the physical fitness test has changed tremendously. And even when I was preparing for the PT test, I would always have to make sure that first I wanted to set a goal. My son's goal was to max out the test as best he could. That was always my goal. So that's the first thing you got to do in life. You have to set a goal. And then once you set this goal, you must do whatever it takes to satisfy that goal, to accomplish that goal, to be purposeful. To be purposeful is something that means that you're willing to do whatever it takes to accomplish a mission. And the thing about these standardized physical abilities tests is that during this test, your body is being challenged. Your body is going to be taxed. And you literally are at war with yourself. I believe when my son said that during the last portion of the test, he heard a little voice in his head. Just take a break. Just take a break. We already on mark to max this thing out so we can slow it down a little bit. But that little voice wanted him to give up. That little voice wanted him to quit. And all the days and time that he spent in the gym training and preparing for this test, that little voice wanted him to throw all that in the garbage. Because had he listened to that voice, that inner voice that wanted him to slow down just a little bit, he wouldn't have accomplished the mission. He wouldn't have achieved the goal. He wouldn't have satisfied the task at hand. And family, we must look at life the same way. See, life is going to be challenging. You see, just like my son has to take a physical abilities test twice a year to make sure that he is in top physical, he's in top shape. You know, he's at the top of his physical fitness level. Because here's the thing, he can't go to combat and be successful if he's not in shape. The same thing held when I was in the military. And even when I was working in law enforcement, we had PT tests. So in certain career fields, the challenges and the tasks from a physical standpoint never stops. But then there's always that mental component. So in life, challenges are going to come, and we are going to hear that little voice that tells us that, hey, we slow it down just a little bit. Slow it down. Hey, you're doing too much. You pushing us too hard. And someone once said that pain is in fact weakness leaving the body. So in life, when that little voice tells you to slow it down and stop and give up, just rest a little bit, just take a little break, you don't do that. You keep pushing and pushing and pushing, because I'm here to tell you, from a physical standpoint and from a mental standpoint, the human body can take an immense amount of abuse. It can endure a significant amount of pain. And just as preparing for this PT test, or just like you were preparing for a test on your job, or maybe taking some type of test in school, you must first establish a goal. To be successful, you must first establish a goal. And once you establish that goal, you must then set a regimen that will help you and push you to accomplish the mission, which is satisfying that goal that you created for yourself. And never, never, ever listen to that little voice when it tells you to give up. When you on the job and that little voice tell you, man, just F it. When you in school, trying to make the grade, a trade school, a college, or what have you, when that little voice tells you, man, F it, give up, slow it down. We already on mark. But see, that little voice is that inner person that has not learned to endure pain. I'm going to say it again. That little voice that each of us hear when life gets hard is that inner person, that little baby voice, that person that has not learned that through life, there's going to be trials and tribulations and much pain. And what you cannot do is give up. So when my son was battling with himself, when that voice was telling him to slow it down, he didn't slow it down. He pushed even harder. And that's what you must do, family. When you get to a point in your life and that voice says, hey, you know what? Slow it down. Slow it down. We going too hard. We gonna blow a head gasket. We gonna throw a rod. We gonna give ourselves a heart attack. Don't listen to that voice. That's when you push harder, and that's when you get after it. And if you attack every trial and tribulation, whatever challenge that life may throw at you, whether it be in the form of a hurricane, whether it be in the form of a challenge on your job, whether it be in the form of accomplishing a difficult test that you know you're having problems with, maybe math, maybe science, or maybe you're doing a trade job, whatever the case is, because what you got to understand, life is going to always test us, whether it's in our personal lives or whether it's on the job. But what we have to do is remember all the training that we put into it to prepare us for this moment. And then once we understand that we endured the training, and you can't slough off on your training. You got to go hard at your training. You got to push yourself. Whether you're training in the gym, whether you're training on the job, or whether you're training in life, you have to push yourself. And once you realize that you pushed yourself and you didn't snuff on the training and you gave it 150%, when the time comes for you to endure, and that little voice says, hey, give up, slow it down. We already on mark to make it. We ain't gotta overdo it. We gonna be good. That's when you push the hardest. Family, life is always gonna throw a left hook, a right hook, and then an uppercut. And there's going to come a time when life going to knock you down. And when you think you down for the count, you make your way back up on your feet and you say, you know what? I got 5 more rounds to go. I got 10 more rounds to go. I got 20 more rounds to go. I use an analogy to boxing or comparisons, but instead of it be rounds, well, those rounds are years. 1 round could be 1 year. 5 rounds could be 5 years. If you remember to always be more tomorrow than you were yesterday, you too will reach your highest peak. Peace.